Here we go. It is the Get Loud podcast presented by SeatGeek, the official primary ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. Find tickets to Commanders games and more at SeatGeek. That's Fred Smoot. I'm Michael Jenkins. Smoot, these are our people. We got, oh my God, how you guys doing tonight?
Give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause.
Yeah. Woo. Live at Duffy's Capitol. We got Major Tuddy here. We got the Command Force. We got a Super Bowl MVP. We got a VIP.
Yeah, we got Shawn Springs in the house.
Springs is here.
And we're right around the corner from RFK. How that feel? How that feel?
Feels good.
RFK. 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 We got to have it.
Oh, my God.
Got to have it.
You know, normally when we do this show, they give us like a glizzy or two.
Yeah, they do.
The leftovers.
Yes,
But tonight, it's prime rib.
Yes, we do.
We are talking to the team president of the Washington Commanders, Mark Clouse.
Come on in. Welcome in. Give him a hand, baby.
Woo! How about this?
What's going on, guys?
How you doing?
How you
I'm
doing?
good,
Thanks for
I'm
having
good.
us, man. Thanks for coming.
Man, this is exciting. It's great to officially meet you. Of course, we've seen all the great work you've done. And your background is amazing, from West Point to weaving your way through the business world to here. What has that journey been like?
You don't understand soup connected to football?
I'm trying.
Okay, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you with that. No, look, I've had a wonderfully blessed journey. I started playing basketball at West Point. Was in the Army, helicopter pilot around the world.
Yeah.
I was a pilot for about 6 years. And then left and went right into food. So there's another transition that was not expected.
All right.
And I've managed brands all over the world. We've lived in China. We lived in Brazil. I ran brands like Oreo cookies. Any Oreo fans out there?
Most definitely.
Pepperidge Farm Goldfish
All right.
and Campbell Soup. So all that. I also have worked on some cocktail brands. How about Jack Daniels on
Yes,
the show
sir.
back there?
We'll be doing that after the show.
Let's go back.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Get Duffy's rolling. So, you know, for me, my life has been spent leading teams, transforming brands, and really bringing iconic organizations back to prominence. And this has been a terrific opportunity. Josh, as he was putting together the team, and obviously we all know what a great choice in Adam Peters, Dan Quinn, of course, amazing. And, you know, look, to be part of that group with Josh working on this, it was just too great of an opportunity to pass up.
Now, I knew you had this
And
some
it's the
special
NFL.
things. I've been saying,
That also helps.
And it's the
I knew you
NFL.
had this some special things, but you basically the Dos Equis man. Like it's nothing that you haven't done.
I'm trying to accumulate all those experiences.
All right. We've seen the culture in Washington change, and we know that has a lot to do with Coach Quinn, but it
does.
has a lot to do with Adam Peterson.
Yeah.
How have you enjoyed watching the culture change?
Yeah, look, I can tell you firsthand, it is all about culture. What's happening here is getting the right people in the right chairs that are making the decisions, that have the right set of principles and values and the right clarity of vision for where we're going. And that's a big part of why I joined. Before I joined this team, I spent a lot of time talking to Adam, talking to Josh, and just believe entirely in where we're headed and what we're doing.
And how does that connect when you take football culture? I understand that in the building when it comes to the football team, but how does that connect and how does it affect the business side?
It should touch everything that we do, right? Whether we're talking to sponsors, whether we're out with fans, whether we're working on how we're going to build the community around the new stadium.
Yeah.
All of that should feel like it's connected. We talk about it all the time. We got to all be rowing in the same direction as one team, and that starts with aligning behind that culture. So it's a huge part of the foundation that we're building, and now we got to keep expanding that across everything we're doing.
Yeah.
So when you talk about the stadium, obviously you're right in the middle of this project, and I don't have to tell you, I think anyone that's familiar with this franchise knows the connection that this team has with that site.
Yeah, it's the spiritual home of
Yeah.
our football team. It really is. When you think about, whenever I talk to fans and they talk to me about the memories of whether it's the stadium shaking because it was so loud, or seat cushions flying all over the place, or running up to Super Bowl championships, it is a special place, and I think it's important for the city too.
Yeah.
This is the nation's capital. We should have a stadium in the nation's capital that is worthy of being a nation's capital.
Yes.
And that's what RFK is all about, and that's why we want to bring that back and get that done, and do it by 2030.
Yes.
I want us playing football 2030 in that stadium.
And I think people just hear stadium. It's going to be a lot more than a stadium, right?
100%. 100%. So what makes this such a special location is right now, if you drive in that area, you see the old stadium.
Yep. The Armory.
That's right, the Armory, it's there. We want to transform that into the jewel of D.C., right? It's 180 acres. That includes riverfront, so Anacostia River waterfront. You've got an incredible set of communities. We want every form of housing, retail, entertainment. It should truly be the crowning jewel of D.C. And I think with partnership with the city and city council and the communities, we can build that together.
And when you talk about a standalone bill that could happen, does that change the timeline at all? How does that shift anything, if at all?
What's that?
If it becomes a standalone bill or the politics of it all, does it change the timeline?
No, look, so I think that the good news is everybody that I'm talking to and working with, whether it's the mayor's team that have been terrific partners or city council, everybody is really trying to find the right path to get all of this done. And as you know, there's a lot of complexity, a lot of things that have to be talked through and decided. But I feel like right now we're in a moment where we got to go and make this happen. This is our window. This is our opportunity for the city, for the team. We got to get the things done. We got to make sure we come together and close the door and get it out, get it going.
Well, one thing, for me being in the city and talking to fans and stuff, tailgating is a big tradition here.
Sure it is.
And people really, really love doing it. And every time I hear, they be like, I'm ready for the stadium, but are we going to have anywhere to tailgate?
We are going to have places to tailgate, all right? I promise you. I know how important that is. And so as we think about the design and how we're building out, of course, when we first open the stadium, there's still going to be a lot of surface parking where you can tailgate. Yeah. But even when we're building the structured parking, we're going to ensure that there's going to be just over 1,000 spaces that are dedicated to tailgating. Think of the roofs of the structure or near-in areas where fans are going to be able to still come and tailgate. But we're also going to give you a lot of options to tailgating. We're also going to build that plaza that'll sit in front of the stadium is going to be the home to a lot of great establishments like this where you can go have a drink, have some food, pregame, and tailgate in a different way. So there'll be choices. You can do it all, and that's really what we want to offer, something for all of our fans to find the way they want to get ready for us to win games in RFK.
We bring out some of that Jack Daniels to tailgate. Bring it all together. And one thing I appreciate about you guys, and Fred, you're always out, is that you're always taking feedback from the fans. What have you heard from some of the fans of the Commanders?
Yeah, look, I think there's been a lot of good questions, but there's also a lot of stuff out there right now that's just not accurate. Like I spent a couple hours with the firemen yesterday visiting some firehouses around the city. And one of the fire, I said, hey, who's for the stadium and who's not? Yeah. And one of the guys like, well, I live in the area, and I know you guys are going to close the soccer fields that are there. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
No, I know how important those soccer fields are to the city. We will not close them. Yeah. We will not close them. We're not going to use them for construction. One of my favorite groups, and I've loved getting to meet these guys, the skateboarding community.
Oh, yeah.
There's a skate park there.
It is, yeah.
And they want to make sure that we're thinking about that, and we will have a skate park place for them to skate when they're there. So I'm trying to do my best in making sure that when people have got questions, we go out to these town halls, we listen, really try to give them the true scoop. Because honestly, I can tell you, if Josh was sitting here, he would say the same thing. The commitment here, beyond building a great stadium, it's really about building a community. Yeah.
If you see what happened, because when I moved here in 2001, the baseball stadium section, it was industrial.
Right.
And if you go over there now, it's revitalized the whole entire area.
This is the fastest, the stadium is the fastest and surest way that we can develop the RFK area. And you are right. Yeah. I mean, D.C., and I've studied all these around the country, and D.C. has one of the best track records of utilizing sports as the platform to develop and transform areas. And that's simply what we want to do there, too.
And now we have actual football coming up.
Yeah.
Help up to you for training camp to get out there and be amongst the fans and the players.
I'm true rookie, right? I'm a rookie.
Because I saw you light up when you said, and it's the NFL. I'm like, he's ready.
They haze me like a rookie, too. Like, Clouse, go get the Gatorade. That's your job. I'm like, oh, all right, let me go get the Gatorade. But no, look, it's been so fun to watch how Coach Quinn and the whole coaching staff, mixes these veterans, guys that have been here with the team for a while, our rookies, and how to bring them together to really turn it into this high-powered, functioning team. And everything they do is purposeful. It's been incredible to watch. I can't wait for training camp because I know we're like third gear right now. We're about to shift into fourth and fifth gear, and it's going to be exciting to be able to be there and part of that.
And I think the fans really enjoyed the training camp experience last year.
Yeah.
Any new things they're adding to the training camp experience this year?
We're continuing. I was there today, and it's a little scary. There's construction everywhere.
Out through the building.
The bubble is down because we're
replacing
replacing the shell. So it's a little nerve-wracking, but I can tell you what we're doing is really transforming that into what the players and what the fans deserve, which is a world-class training facility. And that starts with the facilities. It starts with the training equipment, every aspect of it, as well as making sure that when our fans come out to training camp, they're having a world-class experience. So I think you're going to see a lot of great excitement and fun out there when we open it up.
I've told the story a few times that a few months ago, and this was not for show, it was not on camera, and I walked in, and someone was polishing the Super Bowl trophies.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was like, oh.
You better polish those.
Polish those bad boys up.
Every detail.
Yeah.
This is what I would say. I love what the ownership group has done. They have reached out and touched every facet of this team, from the old stadium that we have now, Northwest Stadium, to the practice facility, to every imprint on this team.
Yeah, it is so true, and it is true. And I can tell you, I'm in all of those conversations, and we start those conversations with what's best for the team and what's best for the fans. Like, one of the things I'll tell you, yes, I'm excited about the new stadium, but we're going to be playing a lot of football in Northwest Stadium. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to hear, I tell the team all the time, I don't want to hear that this is an old building. I don't want to hear any of those excuses. We can have better food. We can have better fan experience. We can improve parking. We can do the things that we need to do to make sure when people come to a game, they're having an amazing experience. I tell them all the time, some of the most fun I ever had in my life, 15, 14 years old in the basement of my friends, paneled walls, maybe a couple beers, I don't know.
Just a couple.
And some great music. We can have an amazing time anywhere. It's up to us to make that happen.
Most definitely.
And what's amazing is that you hear the players who talk to the media say, I'll go to D.C. now. Like, you've made it a destination.
Yeah, it's a destination now.
They want to come. And I think, that is the culture again, right? They know something special's here. They know the history and the heritage, which we are so incredibly proud of. Guys like Doug and others that laid that groundwork. The players want to come be part of that, and to see it come back to life has just been an extraordinary experience to watch.
Most definitely.
He's the team president of the Washington. How about Mark Clouse?
Give me a hand, baby.
Appreciate you. All right, let's get the main event going.
All right. Thanks for being with us, Mark. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.
Coming on the show.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate you guys.
You bet.
So hashtag bring the team home.
You making up hashtags on the spot?
No, you make them up on the spot. Because unlike y'all, I never got the chance, unlike Doug Williams, to play in that building. They went win championships in that building.
Right.
That's a special place.
If you want to keep up with all of the latest park news, just go to commanders.com. New stadium. You can sign up and learn extra ways to voice your support. And thank you for coming out tonight and voicing your support, because we're just getting started, man.
We just getting started. The party is just getting started. I might have to take him up on that Jack Daniels.
I was trying to wait a little bit. We might have to go mid-show. All right, so we got a ton of great guests tonight.
Yeah.
We're going to bring up two more guests right now.
Yeah.
Until Travis Hunter plays.
Yeah.
The highest drafted quarterback.
Oh, please stop. Don't you say it. Come on here, Sean. First of all,
Shawn Springs in the house.
Shawn Springs is now the second highest drafted cornerback of all time.
Give him a hand.
Give him a hand.
I tried, man.
Which one?
He was a receiver, man. He want to make more
Yeah,
money.
he's
I would have been smart, and I would have been like, hey,
He's working out as a receiver right now.
Yeah.
mainly.
Yeah, I know, man. But here's the man.
And also, how
Here's
about
the
a
man.
Super Bowl MVP, the legend,
Doug Williams.
the legend.
I like what's behind on you, bro.
How you doing, man?
I'm over here glistening like Jermaine Jackson. I'm in this thing.
Well, Doug, thanks for being. I know you've already talked to a lot of fans, and since we were talking about RFK, can you take us back and tell us what that must have been like?
Yeah, paint that picture for us.
Oh man, what a story, man. You know, just tonight coming here, we passed Duffy and we turned around, and as we was turning around, the stadium was right there in our face. Mm-hmm. And it's so much history in there. I know when I came here in '86, you know, I thought I died and went to heaven.
That's right.
Not so much the stadium because I hadn't been there, the players.
Yeah.
But when I did get in there, the intimate of that stadium, man, you can walk out the dressing room, people can touch you on the head, and you look up when you're playing, the bleachers was just rocking. It was just one of those stadiums where, you know, it's not like an open stadium. It was more on top of you. And that's what made it so well, you know, and you know, the grass was great, but the most important thing was the players, the burgundy and gold.
That's right.
And let me
That's
tell you,
right.
It wasn't the day that we walked out there, we didn't feel like we was going to win the football game. And I think that's what we're getting back to, but I'll tell you, that place over there, you know, it's a lot of ghosts and everything else is in that place, just still running over there. I can see Dexter Manley and Charles Mann coming off the edge now. You know, Darryl Green. I never will forget Darryl Green. And when we went to the Super Bowl in 1988, the biggest play of that game was the pass that Darryl Green knocked down at the goal line.
Yeah,
that's right.
I saw Darryl today, man. Every time I think about Darryl Green, I think about the punt return in Chicago, but the pass that he knocked down against Minnesota.
Running down Tony Dorsett was a good one, too.
That's Darryl Green. But there's so much history over there, man. It's unbelievable. And you know it has to be torn down. And you hate for it to be torn down, but we all know the history gonna always be there.
Yeah.
And the most important thing is we can put another stadium up in that spot.
Yeah.
And that would be big. And you know, I'm not so much into politics.
Yeah.
But let me say this. I think all the councilmen that are in DC, you know, just need to understand what it means to DC.
Yes.
To bring the commanders back home.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know Mark and Josh and everybody's working on it. But I just hope that all these politicians just go to bed at night and wake up and say, you know what?
Let's get it done.
Yeah.
We got to do this.
Yeah,
That's
let's
right.
get it done.
That's
You know,
right.
And I don't know what council, what ward you live in or what have you, but if you live in any other ward, you need to tell them, hey, guys, we got to bring this stadium home.
Yeah.
You know, because let me tell you, you out there playing whatever you playing, and it don't happen, I think it's going to hurt D.C. And that's what we can't afford, to hurt D.C. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, most definitely. And let me ask you this, Doug. If it was any unique piece to keep from that stadium, maybe a brick cornerstone, maybe a section that goes up and down with some of the original seats, what would you like to take from RFK 1 and put it at RFK 2?
Well, you know what? I was in there not long ago when the mayor and everybody else there, when they had taken a whole lot of stuff out of there.
Yeah.
Right.
And I didn't see nothing I would like to put in there.
Tear the house down.
Yeah, you can't. You certainly can't use the steel that's around it. So I don't see anything because all the seats are gone and it's just concrete. You know, that's all that's over there.
Did you ever think you'd see the day where this is a real possibility the way it is?
You know what? I've been here. I'm going into my 12th year, and I can tell you what. Last year and this year is the best years that I've been here.
Oh, wow.
From a feeling standpoint of the ownership, the players, and the possibility of getting a new stadium.
Yeah.
To me, that's big for me. You know, I might not be around in 2030, but at the same time, the stadium needs to be over
We're
there.
keeping you around.
Yeah.
We're
You ain't
keeping
going
you around.
nowhere.
That's right.
Well, hey, thank God. I hope I am. And my wife, am I going to be here, honey?
She ain't letting you off the hook that
What are your expectations personally, having been around the past couple years and seeing this build the way it's happening so quickly?
Well, I think like everybody said, you know, the credit goes, to be honest with you, to Adam Peters
Yes.
and Dan Quinn. You know, I had firsthand look up close, man, and just watch and see how they worked this past year and the way he built the team, characters, older guys, younger guys, he mixed them in together. The thing about it, what makes it so great, you don't have any bad guys. You know, a lot of people want this player and that player.
Yeah.
That's not how they looked at it. They looked at, you know, a football player, but the character of it. And Dan named it brotherhood.
Yep.
And let me tell you something. It's not a better brotherhood than what we have over there. And the thing I saw most of anything, the young Jaden Daniel, the quarterback.
Yeah.
And let me say this. He can play quarterback.
That's right.
But he's a better human being than he is a quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that makes the difference because I saw Bobby Wagner, when Bobby Wagner walked through the door, you know, I saw leadership walk in. And then Zach Ertz.
Yep.
And I seen those two guys with Jaden Daniels and how close they became so early.
Quick.
And I think that was the difference, how everybody gelled together. And now it's one
Doug,
big team.
you said it from day one. We were at training camp last year, and you said from day one we got something special. What'd you see right away?
Well, you know, you just watch the guy, Jaden especially. You watch him on the field and how he carried himself. He never got too high. He never got too low.
Yeah.
He was the same guy every day you saw him. And I used to come in there every morning at 6:30. He's already parked. You know, so he's all football. He's all football, but he's a great individual. He works at it. And then the way he just bring everybody together, man, it was easy to see. And the way he operated on the field during training camp, it was all. One day, I don't think the ball hit the ground. You know?
Yeah.
And that was a great day.
No, that tell you a lot.
Yeah.
Shawn, a lot of people don't know you're a native DMV guy.
Yeah, man.
You
Yeah.
were born and raised here.
Yeah.
Like, what is that to you? Because I know you got to have a couple of different emotions when it
Yeah.
comes to this stadium. What would it mean to you to be able to go to a game in the future at RFK2?
Well, you know, with my dad playing for the Cowboys.
Sell out. Sold us out.
My dad,
Sold us out.
No.
That was a tough one. That was a tough one. That was tough.
Hold on. But
Let him tell the story.
We didn't get security up here. There's security.
No, but there was no better feeling or the excitement that was in the stadium when you sit in the old Cowboys and the Redskins game.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And when Doug, and I just remember being a little boy, when Doug talked about being in that stadium and the fans feel like you can touch, it felt like you were
was very
right there.
intimate.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
right there in the game, the intimacy. And I remember just seeing guys come out of the locker room and the fans being right there. So me, just seeing it from a very early age, I was just like, wow, this is, you know.
Hollow
this-
ground. Hollow
this-
ground.
Hollow ground.
But more important, you would see how important it was to everybody.
Yeah.
It meant something. So that stuck with me, and one of the reasons why I signed here with Washington.
Let me say this. You talk about that. Loxley, who's the head coach
Mike.
over at
Yeah,
Maryland.
bro.
Yeah, Mike.
You know, you go to the parking lot. Loxley was in the parking lot, and guys used to get out, man. And guys, all them kids wanted to do was carry your bags to the door.
Yeah.
Right.
And they did that. And when you came out, all they wanted was sweatbands.
Yeah.
You know, so you saw these young kids every day, and that was what made it so special.
To watch them grow up.
Coming into RFK and you see them grow up. And a lot of guys who went on to be whatever professional, they come back and they remember those things. I know I talk to Loxley all the time, and that's something big for him.
And my mom worked at the Armory.
Yeah, all right.
Oh,
I
that's
was
right. I forgot
My
that.
mom was in the military, so she worked at the Armory. So I just remember one of my favorite things going to work with her, looking out the window, like looking at the stadium, like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, so this area just means so much to me, and I know others, and I was just, it's amazing to believe that we could have a stadium on the river. You can pull your yacht up. You got to talk to Mark.
No, right there.
You gotta
I'm
talk
just
to
ride
Mark.
that boat up there, you know.
Mark, we got to have a land this you know, but there was a stadium in an amazing location right on the Anacostia, just going around.
Yeah.
You right in the hot.
It changes the whole
Yeah.
area. And I ain't gonna lie, when fans do that with us and say, yeah, me and my daddy used to come watch y'all play, it's time stampers.
Yeah.
'Cause I was like, how old were you at the time? Because you old right now. Like, I'm old. Like, so it kind of time stamp you and take them back for the moment. But that's what sports does. It's the ultimate time stamp. They know where they was on that Sunday, that Monday, sometime Thursday now. Like, so it's a different thing when it comes to sports, Jinx.
And when you look at this team in particular, it has such a great mix. We got Hall of Famers on
Yeah.
this team,
Yeah.
and these young bucks who have come in. Like, it's a really good mix of players where you can see where this team is going to go.
There's no doubt, you know, just bringing them in like it did. You know, Bobby Wagner been playing football for years.
Yellow jacket.
Yeah.
But you know, his mentality is a little different than a guy that's been around as long.
Yeah.
He got a young mentality.
He does.
And he put it all into the other players. And he's not selfish. I think that's the biggest thing. You know, Zach is the same way, man. You know, Zach might not be what he used to be,
Yeah.
but he all of what he is right now. And the good thing about this thing, you talk about Adam Peters, and you know, you think about the draft. We only had 5 draft picks.
Yep.
We had 7, to be honest with you, because we got Tunsil.
Yep,
and we got
Debo. Yep.
So there's nowhere in the world you can get a 5th rounder like a Debo.
Nope,
That's
sure
right.
not.
And you can't get a 3rd rounder like Thompson.
Yep.
That's the truth.
So we got fortunate there. So the team has been better. And then we got another offensive line first round. And what they're doing is building around Jaden Daniels. Let's face it, this Jaden Daniels team right now.
Yeah, it is.
And I think we got to look at it from that standpoint that his team, but it's not a selfish guy.
Yeah.
He's all in with everybody. You know, I texted him today, man, and I told him I hope he's enjoying his summer. And when he get back, let's roll. He said, "Hey, I'm ready to roll all the time."
Yeah.
And that was a good text, you know, because that's the feeling that he has.
Now you right now you are totally right. You have to protect the asset, and he is the asset. And if people really look at this offensive line, last time we won big, we had the Hogs up front.
Hogs,
right? So now this version I'm calling the Wild Boys. All right? And you think about this. I'm gonna go down the line about these Wild Boys, and I'm gonna paint this picture for you. All right, check this out. Laramie Tunsil is a All-Pro, not a Pro Bowl. All-Pro left tackle.
Arguably one of the best in the league.
Thank
If
you.
not the best in the
Thank
league.
you. Moving him now, having the ability to move Coleman to guard, and Coleman did a great job at tackle last year. He got Pro Bowl capability at guard. Like B. Oddish is a Pro Bowl center. Like Sam Cosmi is a Pro Bowl right guard. And we just drafted Connolly, who has Pro Bowl potential. You can't protect them no better than that, Doug.
And it's younger than you think.
Yeah.
The offensive line is a lot younger than you think.
Yeah.
You know? So you got guys that can play together for the next 8 years for sure.
Yeah.
And you know, it make good because Jaden hopefully can play for the next 12.
Yeah, 20. Quarterback play for 20.
He could, and to that point, man, that's part of that brotherhood. You mentioned that, but we can tell you each week we would have someone on the show, our podcast. Every single player that came in there, the first thing that came out of their mouth was the brotherhood.
Yeah.
And every single player talked about we had Cosby on there. He would say, "Hey man, I'm thankful for the other guys around me. They make me look good. They push me. They work with me." Mm-hmm. We had Marcus come on. We had everybody on the show. Like Zach was great.
Yeah.
We had Zach come on and we talked about his love and how he was accepted by, he was like, man, I seen this little rookie and this guy was amazing. I want to play with him. And then Bobby and everything. So, you're talking about just adding those pieces, building around Jaden. The brotherhood is a special thing. It's really cool to see.
You guys know this. It's easy to take that for granted. Like every locker room is like that.
know,
Not every locker room is like
What's
that.
the worst teammate ever?
What are you talking about? I've been in different locker rooms. I started off with Marty Schottenheimer, a disciplinarian. I end up with Coach Gibbs. All right, somebody that coaches totally different than That's one thing that all us got in common was Coach Gibbs. And from the time he stepped in the door, our culture changed. It changed from what it was under Coach Spurrier and the rest of those coaches. So I totally understand what you mean by coaching when you bring coach up.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. And amongst this group, maybe more than any other group we've seen in a long time, like it's person to person to person, everyone says, no, I got my guy.
But let me tell you something else about the coaches. Dan Quinn loved the players that has played here in the past.
Yeah.
You walk in that building, you see players' pictures, Dexter Mann, Charles Mann,
everybody.
Lyndon Fletcher, all on the wall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He wants to get to know everybody. He has no problem with him coming by there. Charles Mann called me, and he's supposed to come to practice, and he didn't come. He said, I was waiting on the call, because Charles, over the years, wouldn't come by there. A lot of players wouldn't come by there, but the open arms are there from Adam and Dan. I think that makes the difference, too.
Yeah, it
when
does.
you bring in old to mix in.
It's
with
like
the
bridge
young.
the gap.
Bridging the gap.
Yeah.
I think
Can't
he's doing
forget the
that.
past, not if you're going to move on in the future.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, that's why you're here, because you're a huge part of this team's past, and you're here right now helping us build towards the future. So thank you for
I
being
certainly
with
hope
us.
so. I'm doing my part. That's it.
Sean, I had to ask you, we got a second round in Trey Amos.
Yep.
All right, long corner from Ole Miss, not Mississippi State, but Ole
Oh.
Miss.
Yeah.
All right. What you think about him? Because I think with the confidence he plays with the length he plays with, and his ball skills, I think he got a chance to be special.
Real special. You're talking about, he's long, but you're talking about an athletic and fast kid.
Yeah.
When you're thinking about a corner, you know, it's one thing to have size, and everybody's one. And we got a little guy. He's not super big, but we got Superman, little Mike Sinstrom. Mike can play. I call him Superman. He walking in with his glasses, but he a bad man when he take his glasses off. But when you think about, Doug talked about building around Dayton. I think when we drafted this year with Colin and Amos, we actually got really, really, really good pieces that we needed. And so when you think about the cornerback position, I thought we were good last year. I thought we improved from the first week when we saw him against Tampa to the last week. But now I think with the identity and what Joe Witt and those guys are trying to do, we're adding speed. We're adding guys that can run. Not only long, they can move.
And size up front also.
Yeah, size up front. We got size up front, and Newton was coming on after he came off his injury last year.
Kinlaw.
You know, so obviously Lavu and Bobby. I think just the mixture of size, speed, length, and just the way these guys prepare. If you go to practice, I remember they break down every aspect of the game from individual. You watch the individual drill; they working on the little thing, like
to situational,
where your eyes, to 2-man, to 7-on-7 situational. So every part of the game is broken down. Over
they don't waste a minute.
They don't waste a minute, and not only that. I've never been to a more energetic practice. I mean, these guys.
Besides the ones I was a part of, what you talking about?
You were the only one talking anyway. But when you talk about that, like it's not like false enthusiasm.
No, it's real.
It's real. The music is bumping.
Yeah.
These guys are.
They focus. They're
ready to go. And they compete every day. I can't wait to see with Debo and Cam because those guys. You know, our defense talks. They talk a lot, man. So Frankie and those guys talk.
Thank you for not really answering the question that I asked you. I think I asked him about Trey.
I said the kid was long.
I tell you what, the music is bumping.
The kid is long, fast, athletic, and I think it's a great fit for our secondary with the rest of the guys.
I just like how you brushed my question off and just took off 100 miles per hour.
Well, Doug, we don't want to keep you. We got to give the former Super Bowl MVP. Doug,
round of applause for the Super Bowl champ.
Right there.
Thank you for coming out there.
Thanks for being with us, Doug. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, we got to dig in. Trey Amos.
Yeah.
You know,
he's already like in practice.
No, I've been saying his mentality is what I like. The talent is there, but you know, as a corner, to keep getting back up after getting burnt. It takes a mentality. And I think people don't understand because y'all sit on your couch and be like, Smooth and Springs getting towed up out there.
Nah, they never said Springs.
Yeah, they
said Smooth.
Yeah, they did.
They never said Springs. They said Smooth got burnt up, but not Springs. But go ahead what you're saying.
But to have the mentality to get back up in front of millions of people and do it over and over again, that's the ability. I look for the mental build-up, and he got the mental build-up.
He does. And, you know, playing in the SEC, you know, you can't take that for granted because he played against a very, very good competition.
He played against the best.
Each week. He played against the best. It shows up. And, you know, when you think about this, the mixture of guys back there.
Yeah.
I mean, some talent.
You know, we got some time.
I think Lattimore going to have a better year because he's healthy.
I was just about to say a Buckeye. Lattimore had a hamstring, but
he's going to be good.
He's going to be good.
You can tell he feels better, like listening to him and watching him. Like he is already so
the
much
safety
better.
Will Harris is going to bring something to the team that I don't think people understand. His diversity, he can play nickel.
Yep.
He can play
Swiss
big
Army
safety.
knives, for sure.
Just anything. And my guy that I really, because everybody gets crunk up about the guys that we bring in. What about the guys that we already got that's going to get better?
Yep.
A guy like Tyler Owens, don't be shocked if y'all start to see him in the rotation because to me, I think he could take that safety to a whole nother level.
Well, let's talk about little Mikey, though.
Yeah.
Smooth, you and I, we talked about him last year.
Best rookie cornerback since Fred Smoot drafted by the team. Thank you.
I
appreciate that.
I wouldn't argue that, but one of the things we talked about a guy, if he was 2 inches taller, he might have been a top 5 pick.
Well, first of all,
we talked about
Nick
it.
Saban said
pound for pound.
During the draft, Nick Saban said while they was going through the draft, he like, if I had to draft anybody, it'll be Mike Sarenstein, pound for pound, the best football player. He didn't say corner. Yeah. He said best football player.
And when you think about some of the plays, I recall the Detroit game.
Yeah.
You know, Mikey was out there making plays. He was the 2 picks. You know,
and changing the game.
He changed the game for us, and you know, it's just the veterans mixing with the young guys, and then just the scheme. We don't give Joe Witt enough credit by how all those guys, and the secondary is about communication, or defense is about communication.
Yeah.
You never really see these guys out of place.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't matter who's in the game. They all play as a unit. They all play fast.
That was their first year together. Like, this going to be their second year under this defense.
Oh, man.
That's going to let them play a little fast. It's going to give him a little bit of freedom on what he can call and what he can't. And that's why I said, when you bring 330 pounds of man like Javon Kinlaw and put him on that defensive line, you bring Dietrich Wise and you put another 300-pounder on that defensive line, that tell me from that NFC championship game last year, we walked away saying we need to get bigger in the trenches, and that's what we did. We went and got boys that smell like bacon. Larry Matanza smell like bacon. All these boys smell like bacon. They give you a chance to win football games.
They do.
They do.
When you've got guys that are coming into the league, sorry, Tuddy.
I'm sorry, Tuddy.
Except for Tuddy. Except for Major Tuddy.
Hey, turkey bacon.
Sorry.
Turkey bacon.
Sorry, buddy. We saw that head whip around.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa. Sorry.
We took his cousin down through there. You know, it hurt him.
He from Mississippi, man.
Yeah, I am from Mississippi, from the rootin' to the tootin'.
So, I mean, you guys know when you play corner, you obviously have to have a short memory, but not all the guys we see play so fearlessly, but Mikey is fearless out there.
Because he studies.
Yeah.
You can always tell somebody that's leaning on what I studied, and I'm going to play off of what I believe. All right, some guys are just out there winging it. Some guys don't do that. Some guys make mental, make talent, make preparation, and you can always tell, especially with a corner, because sometimes when they haven't studied, they'll be a little bit more hesitant. He was never hesitant. He was always downhill.
In each week, he just improved. That's what I like to see about a young guy. How did he look from week 1 to week 6 to week 6 to week 12, and how he performed in the playoffs? So part of that's studying. Part of it's getting comfortable in what you can do in your abilities. Because at one time, we started off having Mikey inside. He was inside.
Which he'll be playing a lot inside this year.
But when we moved him out to the left, we questioned. We was like, well, okay, we see the move. And then when we moved him out, I think it was the Philly game, the first time, or whenever they moved him outside, we were like, oh, man, he
balled out.
He balled out. So the flexibility that he gives you.
And then don't forget, it knocks everybody down to the appropriate peg. Now Noah Igbenogany, he's your fifth corner now. Like so everything. Then you bring in a Jonathan Jones who played 2 Super Bowls, who got playoff experience. So now everybody's in their proper slot. That's what I'm saying.
And that depth gives us flexibility because each week, you know, somebody may get necked up or go down. There's no fall off. And that, in order to win and go where we want to go, we need that type of depth and we need that type of consistency performance by the guys who might not be starters that come in. We got to give a shout out to Jeremy Reeves.
Jeremy Reeves, congratulations on the contract. First of all, Jeremy is one of the dudes that this team fits his image. Just tough. Blue collar, what you need me to do, coach? I'm part of this Marine group right here. Whatever you need me to do, I'm going to do it.
Because you hear him talking about Zach Ertz's leadership. You hear talk about Bobby's leadership. But it's 2 other guys that I would say that's not known, but their presence is felt. Marcus Mariota.
Most definitely.
Doug could probably tell you Marcus and what, you know, I ever hear them talking about what he means to Jaden.
And supported to Jaden.
And how he supports Jaden. And that's important as you need you got your coach, but you got a teammate that you can lean on.
That know he got your back. One image that comes out in my mind last year when we called a timeout at the end of the game, Jaden was tired and Marcus picked him up. Like on the field and picked him up. They told me everything I need to know about their friendship.
And so the other guy on the defense side is that Jeremy Reeves. And what he does on the special teams and how he gets everybody, he understands his role. Special teams is not easy.
No, it ain't.
But he understands that this is important for us to be good in all 3 phases. This is why I'm going to do my job to the best ability, and it's contagious. And that guy's in that defensive back room, and we got to give him a lot of credit as a leader.
Jeremy Reeves.
I want to talk with you guys more about this season, about the rest of the team, about the NFC East. First, it's time to show off that Mississippi State education.
Oh, you want me to
Hayden Mills, baby.
MWAA. We don't travel to escape life. We travel so life don't escape us. We dream of any place in the world, and in the blink of an eye, we're there. That's the wonder of flight. All you have to do is decide where to. Dulles International Airport. Let your imagination soar. Book your adventure today at
there you go.
At flydulles.com/nonstop. Mississippi State education is
one
one of the best.
Yeah, you
one
nailed
of the best, baby.
Send
your child to Mississippi.
Hey, Jinx, you think you can get a flight to Stark Vegas? You know what Stark Vegas is?
He a Longhorn.
Yeah, you know.
But see,
You know how it is.
No,
Look at this. It's like you're operating a hand puppet.
No, and that's why a bulldog was genetically bred to take
Oh
down
my God.
bulls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like 100 years ago, right?
Yeah, I'm just
like
saying.
not now.
No, I'm just saying. That's all
And
I'm
we
saying.
got Texas.
Texas, Ohio State.
I don't know. I think we got you.
Hey,
Yeah.
man, you know what's been unique about this offseason, and we kind of felt it last year? It's been quiet.
No, just
It's been quiet.
That's-
This business like.
This is how good business sound. You
Come
hear
on.
nothing. You hear nothing.
Come on, man.
Right? You hear
It's
nothing.
been quiet.
It ain't nothing to hear.
Hey, ain't nothing to talk about, but getting ready for the anticipation of a great year.
When things working right, just leave it be. Like I told my kids the other day, the microwave work, the refrigerator work. Why you on work? All right, at the end of the day, when something working right, let it work. Let it cook.
So we got a couple questions. Also, shout out to our producer Anna. If you watch the pod, you know Anna
Yeah,
always
you
does
know
great
Anna,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, you know Anna. There she is doing work, doing work.
Hey, give a shout out to the Buffs. You know, Anna loves
Oh,
the
she
Colorado
loves her Buffs,
She
baby.
loves-
Yeah, it's over
She
for
does.
them. They retired numbers too quick. It's over for them.
No,
So last year, this Commanders defense was ranked 18th. This is according to Fox Sports.
Yeah.
Can this defense move into the top 10 this season?
Oh, they most definitely gonna be better. Sometimes I never care about the numbers. Did we win that day?
Yeah.
We made the game up 400, but we didn't give up 401. All right. At the end of the day, it's all about winning, and I don't care about rankings. If I say anything, I want us to be in the top 10 against the run, because then that tells me we're forcing teams to pass and they're behind the chains. So that's what I want. I want to be top 10 in rush, because if you can stop a team from rushing, you can force them to pass the ball. Now we got a chance to go make plays with these DBs, and now we got a chance to go get sacks, maybe some sack fumbles, some forced fumbles, and some interceptions. That changes game. So the run game for me.
the defense will get better anyway because now they're under the second year of Joe Witt.
Yeah.
So Smoot, you talked about that was their first year playing
Continuity.
together. So now they're about to get comfortable because they know what first of all, they know the expectation of what happens when you step on the field.
The standard.
The standard is the standard.
Yeah.
And, you know, Joe Witt sets that standard. Coach Quinn sets, and Adam sets the standard because they draft the right mentality and the right players. So I think they're going to be exciting. I think they're going to be exciting. We got better in this back end. We got better in the back end.
We got better in the front end.
And we got better in the front end.
And the middle is one of the best. The linebacker core is one of the best in the league with Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner.
And I think my guy up front is Newton, Big Newton. I think that he's going to be better in the second year. He had a little knee last year. He's
healthy now.
He's healthy. I think it's a reason we can let Jonathan go.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I love when you talk about being in the second year under Joe Witt? I think it's such a good point. It's not only do you know the defense, then you know each other. Because when you guys played together, I love the stories where you would just look at each other and know. Yeah, I love that.
Because now, after playing a year in it, now I knew what Greg Williams was going to do on third down. I didn't have to second guess. Third and short, I know he finna call zero. All right, third and long, I know he finna call cover 4.
Right.
All right, now we're going to go gold coverage in this situation. I don't even need to look to the sideline because I've been in it and we done did it so many times over and over. That allows us to play faster.
Well, and it also allows you to trust, right? Like, I know, like, if I made a mistake, if me and Smoot were checking the guys, came over in motion, and I kind of took this guy, and we didn't call switch or combo or anything like that. He played with me so much.
I'm gonna go the opposite way.
He trusts me, or I can tell him, "Hey man, listen,
I'm not moving.
I'm gonna jump this one. Do what you do, but let you at least know what I'm doing. Hey, play a little soft on this one. So that you start to trust each other as teammates.
Yeah.
You got training camp coming up.
Yep.
Who in particular are you looking forward to watching?
Like I told you, Tyler Owens is big on my list.
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah.
But the rookie we got from UCLA, Madrano. Understand this
Fast.
linebacker that runs a 4.4 used to play wide receiver. He's crazy athletic.
The fastest linebacker to combine.
Merritt, the running back that we got. I want to see him. A lot of people didn't see him last year because he was hurt for his last senior year of college. I think Merritt going to be pretty good. So it's the youth that I want to see. I want to see Newton take it to another level.
But with Newton, I like all the rookies from last year, the second year. I want to see what McCaffrey does.
I think McCaffrey's going to look good.
I think he's going to look good because we talk about, obviously the news about Terry, but adding Debo
and
with
Lane
McCaffrey and those guys and Lane, I like our core.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think he could be an X factor, especially in the special teams game
doubt.
that nobody's really,
Yeah.
you know, like, oh, who's that returner? Who's that guy?
And he built like he's built.
He built, and he
Yeah.
could be that
Yeah.
guy. I want to see that. I want to see what B. Rob does this year, man.
A lot of pressure
Yeah.
on his contract year. Anytime
Yeah.
it's contract, you know, you usually get the best out of us
Yeah.
in the contract year. You know? We don't even go outside during the contract year. Just sit in the house.
But arguably, when you talk about upgrading the line,
Yeah. That changes
Oh, my
everything.
God.
I mean, you know, Larry Townsend and
I mean, now
Conner,
you don't have to chip anybody. You just got one dude to
No, no, no,
handle
it's-
it.
Yeah,
Right.
but you
Opening
got,
up holes.
but they got guys who can, you know.
Get downhill.
Smooth said it earlier. When we lost that game to Philly, it was a conscious effort to say, you know what, we got to get bigger.
We got tossed
Yeah.
around.
And we got tossed around.
Yeah.
And now we say, you know what, we're going to go get a bodybuilder who can throw people out the club.
Yeah.
Big Larry Tunsil. And then we got the boy from Oregon. We got some
Yeah,
big
Connolly gonna be good.
Hey, we got some guys who can throw you out the club, man.
And he used to play running back.
Yeah.
He
So-
used to play running back.
So I'm interested to see the run game, how it continues to progress with the new addition. Because I think so we all talked about it last year. At times when we needed to be a hammer,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
late in the year, we didn't. We weren't that.
We was a nail.
Right.
It either hammer or the nail. We was a nail.
So I want to see what B. Rob and Eckler and those guys do.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to pay some bills.
Yeah,
and then
pay
we're
some
going to get everybody
bills.
else
Pay some
involved with
bills.
some trivia. You ready for this?
Let's see what Texas University. Let's see what they teaching over there
Oh
in
my
Texas.
God! All right, let's do it. This summer, SeatGeek has your ticket to the best live concerts in the DMV at Northwest Stadium. SeatGeek makes it easy to catch world-conquering tours and high-wattage performances from your favorite artists all summer long. SeatGeek has the best seat, your seat for an unforgettable summer, from rock royalty to rap superstars, R&B to country. Find out all on SeatGeek, the official ticketing partner of Northwest Stadium. Summer concert season officially starts with SeatGeek.
How about that, folks? Give him a hand of applause. I see.
Thank you, baby.
Hey, I see Catherine just looking, hanging on everywhere. I wonder if he gonna mess up.
That's why we're getting married right there. Come on, baby. Get me through. Okay, so we're going to play Name That Commander. All right? So I'm going to give everyone a stat line. You guys can cheer. These guys can choose. And you tell me, and I'll give you 3 players.
All right.
And you tell me which player it is. You guys can
Okay.
cheer. All
Okay.
right?
Is it this year's stat from
Oh, this is from all time.
Oh,
I got
all
you.
time.
okay.
Okay.
my
All
type
time.
of quiz?
Hey, and hold your hand up, Jake. You know he cheat.
That's why I'm doing this right here.
All right.
All right, player number 1.
Yeah.
I'll give the stats, then give you 3 players.
Yeah.
429 career receptions, 4,711 receiving yards, 33 touchdowns. Is it?
Chris Cooley.
Is it?
Give me that might be a Gary
Is it?
Clark. That could be Gary Clark.
No, Gary had way more yards.
Is it Pierre Garçon,
Okay.
Chris Cooley, or Bobby Mitchell?
Ooh.
Chris Cooley.
Nah.
No, it's Pierre.
That's Pierre Garçon.
It's Pierre.
That's
Pierre?
Pierre Garçon.
Any guesses? The answer is Chris Cooley. You had it. You had it.
No. He changed. He changed.
You changed it. You changed it.
Once I heard the 33 touchdowns and 4,000 yards, I knew it was Chris Cooley.
It's Cooley. Nah, that's Pierre. That's Pierre.
I didn't even need your multiple choice.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, player number 2.
Stop looking at the.
I'm not looking, man.
Bring it back, man. Stop cheating.
Hold on 1 second. I'm done with this. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Going defense now.
Yeah.
2,032 total tackles.
Ooh.
London Fletcher.
1,379 solo tackles.
Whoa.
39 sacks, 23 picks. Are we talking about
London Fletcher.
Ryan Kerrigan, Charles Mann, or London Fletcher?
London Fletcher. London
London Fletcher.
London Fletcher. Because London always teased Smooth. He had more
'Cause-
picks.
yeah, 'cause he got
more,
23.
He had more picks than Smooth. London Fletcher.
Yeah.
It is London Fletcher.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy? You talk about tackles. You got London and Bobby on the same team, like
Yeah.
top 5 tackles all time in the NFL.
They are. They are.
It's absolutely
Next one,
crazy.
I can do this in my sleep.
Okay, here we go. Player number 3. 497 total tackles, 458 solo tackles, 54 picks, 6 touchdowns. Is it Darryl Green,
Darryl Green.
D'Angelo Hall,
Darryl Green.
Darryl
or
Green.
Shawn Springs?
Darryl Green.
Yeah,
That's
D
Darryl
Green.
It's Darryl Green.
Yeah.
It's D Green. All right. All right.
There's only one man played that long.
Anna, these should have been harder questions. I'm sorry.
Oh, and catching strays
I'm
randomly.
just saying they should have been harder questions.
They're good.
I'm not.
You're cheating.
Anna, he's already looking at it, Anna.
I did not need to look for those. They were so easy. They were just low-hanging fruit.
We still got a few more to go. All right, here we go. We got 2 more players before we wrap things up here. Player 4.
Yeah.
732 receptions. 10,283
Santana Moss.
receiving yards. 66 touchdowns. And a long of 78 yards and a touchdown.
Santana Moss.
It's Santana Moss. It's Santana. That's how I got
78
it.
is
By
all
the
that?
way, I mean, with a
could've
different
been-
quarterback, he's a Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
With the same quarterback,
That's what I
they
mean.
probably gave him the Hall of
Like,
Fame. But for him to do that with all the guys
Is
he did
amazing.
with, is amazing.
Yeah.
There's a couple John Becks in there.
Yeah, you know,
Oh,
got a little
God.
dicey there for a
Yeah,
while.
I'm finna say.
Okay.
Got a little rough.
Got
a little rough.
Right, yeah, the John Beck reference, that was good. All right, last one. Here we go. Last player, 250 receptions, 11,352 rushing yards.
No, you said reception. Rush
Rush yards. 104 rushing TDs.
Clint Portis.
Is it CP,
Brian
Brown,
Mitchell?
or Riggo?
Clint Portis.
Said it. What was it? How many TDs?
104.
104. 11,352 rushing yards.
That might be Riggo.
That might be Riggo.
Rugger. I got Riggins. I got Riggins.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Riggins too.
Anybody else? The answer is John Riggins.
Yeah.
It is Riggins. The great John
Okay.
Riggins.
Yeah, it's John Riggins.
We need harder questions.
That's it.
I'm
Next
just saying, the intelligence on the Get Loud podcast
Here's a
is through the
trivia
roof.
question. What school is the winningest school in college football?
Mississippi State University.
I was like, here comes an Ohio State question right here.
No, go ahead.
Well, you know, y'all been NILing for the last 53 years.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, you know.
Hey, you know what? At the end of every pod,
Yeah.
now I'm going to put you on the spot. Go ahead.
You know what I was about to say, man?
I don't know what you
Mark might be the coolest president in the league, man. How cool was
No,
Mark?
That was
he was
awesome.
cool, man. It was real cool, right?
How cool was Mark?
awesome.
Like, that's why I called him the Dos Equis man. How many jobs
He just
have
strolled
had?
in here. He's like, what's going on, guys?
Yeah.
Hey, Jason, you want to sit down and talk some football? I was like, yes,
Man,
that'd be great.
That's the instant man that you could be on the-
I was gonna call him MacGyver.
No,
the
no.
man was a pilot.
yeah.
I was gonna call him
I was
MacGyver.
say
Man.
he can be on a plane and they be like, the plane going down. He can be like, I can help you. Right? Let me take over this thing. I got you.
So at the end of every pod, I mean, I was going to say I'm putting you on the spot, but I'm not really. We always geek out.
Yeah.
You always
Geek
got
out.
something that you've read, that you've seen, because
Yeah.
your mind is like a sponge, and we don't know if it's ever true or not. We always have to triple check.
And I
So
put
you
them-
don't think last week's Cowboy Cody?
No,
was
it
real?
was. You want to repeat Cowboy Cody?
All right. Did y'all hear about the dude from Kentucky
It's true.
that got kicked out of a bar in Kentucky? Went home, found the raccoon, brought the raccoon back to the bar, let it out in the bar, and the raccoon bit 8 people. All right? Yeah, no.
Major Tutty's clapping.
Cowboy
Yeah!
Cody did it.
Rabies.
All right, and 2 weeks before he did that, he got pulled over riding his donkey and got a DUI. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's made up.
No, I swear to God, it was in Murray, Kentucky.
Murray, he went and checked like he always
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
You can get a DUI on a donkey?
It was a high-speed mule chase.
Yes, he got in a high-speed chase on the mule
swear to God.
with
No
the
way.
police.
On a donkey.
On a donkey.
Wow. Impressive.
Hey, man.
That's an interesting fact.
Hey, man, most definitely, man.
Are you going to have a yacht pull up to the stadium when it's on the river, man? What you doing?
Oh, we got
Hey, there you go, Cowboy Cody, right there.
wow.
Cowboy Cody.
Yeah, all right. I
Well, I
guess-
tell you what, it's been an awesome night. We appreciate give yourselves a hand. Thanks for coming out
Thank y'all
tonight.
for coming
Thank
out,
you
man.
coming out.
We've met some awesome fans. We got some fans who keep coming back. We got some new fans coming up at the
And thank
bar.
you, Well,
We get wings? What we doing?
No, we gonna eat. But hey, thank y'all for welcoming us to y'all neighborhood. Hopefully, we have a permanent residence like a mile from here.
Let's
you know?
bring the stadium
That's
back.
Yeah.
That's Shawn Springs, Fred Smoot. I'm Michael Jenkins. It's the Get Loud podcast presented by SeatGeek. Thanks for coming out. Have a great night.
Thank you.
The views and opinions expressed by our podcast guests and or hosts are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Washington Commanders or any of their representatives.